Good afternoon. The House Transportation Subcommittee is now called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Representatives Carr, Darby, Glenn, Harris, Hazelwood, Howell, Marsh, Pearson,
Present.
Russell, Sherrill, Towns, Vital, Wright, Chairman Whitson.
Here.
Chairman, you've got a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Members, any announcements for the group? Members, remember our last calendar is this time next week, and but we'll see what we have filed by today. And with that, item number 1 by Leader Lambert has been rolled 1 week. Members, item number 2 by Chairman Kiesling has been rolled 1 week. That brings us up to item number 3. Chairman Crawford, I don't see him here. We'll roll him to the hill. That brings us to item number 4, Chair Lady Littleton. Is she here? We'll roll her to the hill. Item number 5, Representative Martin, Hamilton County. Chairman Sparks, you're looking really good right now. Item number 5 has been rolled to the hill. Hey, that brings us to the first item of the day. Item number 6, Representative Sparks of Rutherford County. Sir, you are recognized.
Thank
on
you.
House Bill 2062.
Yes, sir. I almost stayed in my office for a little bit, thinking I'd be a while.
We have a motion and a second, sir,
Yes.
and no amendments on this bill, correct?
Oh, yes, sir. No amendments. Basically, what this bill does, what House Bill 2062 does, is creates a street racing task force study to determine best practices for curbing illegal street racing here in this state. As members know, it's been a persistent problem for THP, for Nashville, for Shelby County, and others. It impacts my district of North Rutherford County. It also impacts Davidson County lawmakers as well. Representative Powell, he's seen it in his district. I just got off the phone with Metro Police about the problem and what they're doing to try to curb this. And sadly, Chairman and members, it seems to be getting worse. I pulled up online. Greg Abbott of Texas formed a task force about illegal street takeovers and many of the problems with it. So I'm kind of mirroring what Greg Abbott's done in Texas. So I appreciate y'all's approval.
Thank you, sponsor. And, in Williamson County, there was street racing down near 100 Oaks, and 3 young men were killed trying to get away from there back last year. Members, any questions for the sponsor? Representative Pearson, you're recognized, sir.
Thanks, Chairman. And I don't like Tennessee following Texas and a whole lot of things.
Oh, yes, sir.
I think this is really important. We see it down in Shelby County a lot. And when it comes to the safety of our communities and ensuring that we do all the things that we can, having research and data-driven approaches to address solutions is the way to go. And so appreciate this bill and really being able to find those solutions and then address the problem instead of trying to address it just from anecdotes that we hear. So appreciate the bill.
Thank you, Representative Pearson. Sponsor, any response to that? No?
No, just appreciate it.
Is this your co-sponsor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Representative Powell, you're...
I just want to say I really appreciate Representative Sparks working on this bill. It's something we find it's been a very bipartisan issue. Unfortunately, we see speed racing impact all of our communities across Tennessee. We have one of my constituents has been working very close with Jacob Bernhardt and his family, who was tragically killed in Clarksville. And, Jeff Sexton is his name. And so he has gotten to know that family very well. But unfortunately, there are so many different instances of speed racing where people, their lives are put in jeopardy, and they've seen this, happen in their neighborhoods and their communities. Unfortunately, I see it all the time in my community. Matter of fact, I was told Representative Sparks, I was with my son one day, and we were coming from his soccer practice, and we were passed by a car going about 100 miles an hour on Old Hickory Boulevard, and that car later crashed and killed several people. So it's a thing that we all need to look at addressing. And I want to also commend the Highway Patrol. Chairman Sparks and I both met with the Highway Patrol Colonel and they're doing some very fantastic things, working with law enforcement to address this. But I think if we can all come together, certainly pull all of our resources together and figure out ways that we can lead the nation addressing speed racing, will be helpful.
Okay, next on my, any response? Okay, next, I have on my list, Representative Harris, you're,
Thank you, Chairman, and sentiments to my fellow colleagues from Shelby County as well. As we do have a issue with this, a huge one. I'm not a speed racer, but I was talking to some individuals. Who had been recording and had posted their video online in our area, and I was like, why do you all do it? And they was like, well, we used to have a racetrack that we used to all go to, but they closed it, and so the place where they used to do it was closed, so they've just decided to just start using our streets and roads and interstates. And so I think that this is actually a really, really great bill, so we can actually kind of do more research and study on this task force, and look forward to supporting it.
thank you, sponsor.
Well, I was just going to mention, it is a problem. You know, when I was younger and Pat Marsh was younger, we done a lot of dumb things back in the day, but you know, it wasn't this bad. But
That was called horse racing, okay?
yes, thank you. But the lieutenant that contacted me, I asked his opinion. He says, you know, we really going to have to start holding some cars. We have to start holding these cars. I don't want to see young people lose their cars. That's a significant investment, but when you see an Army medic that's just 30 years old with kids lose his life, you know, and it's just a matter of time. I think the wreck that he's talking about, I believe 4 people were killed in that Camaro on Bell Road. But it's a serious problem that needs addressing, and I appreciate Representative Powell. He's been passionate about this and responded to his constituents who have been reaching out for help. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sponsor. Next on my list, Representative Harris, you done there, sir? Okay. Okay, next up, I have Representative Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Out of curiosity, where is that task force going to come from? Like, who's going to pick
Sponsor?
the 13 members for the task force? Out of curiosity.
Well, it's in the legislation, sir. You know, the speaker, lieutenant speaker, lieutenant governor, high patrol will be on it, and others in law enforcement.
Okay, thank you. Next up, I have Chair Lady Hazelwood. Question has been called. I see no objection. Members, we are now voting on House Bill 2062 to send to full Transportation Committee. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Bill moves on to full transportation.
Thank y'all.
Members, I'm going to, yes. I was getting ready to bring Chairman Crawford down off the hill right now. So Chairman Crawford, you are recognized on House Bill 2383, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee. And I'm not going to say that Pat Marsh made any dumb decisions, so remember that as you vote. This is House Bill 2383. This is dealing with motorcycles. And what this bill would do is it would allow, I'll make it as brief as possible, it would allow motorcycles to use the emergency shoulder.
Excuse me, sponsor, do we have a motion a second? We have a motion a second. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It would allow them to use the emergency shoulder to be able to get off the interstate or whatever due to motorcycles overheating as they sit still. It would have a fiscal on it. You know, they would have to repaint the lines and those type things. But this just gives adults and working with the highway patrol and other members of the security side of it, this would allow adults to make that decision to be able to use that, not minors. So that's what the bill does.
Thank you, Chairman. Members, I have Chairman Howe next on the list to speak.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item has been a subject of a lot of discussion. I know safety's been involved. I just happened to have a conversation about this very issue less than an hour ago. And personally, I think it's an issue that needs further discussion. And if the committee would be so pleased, I would like to send it to a summer study.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion, second. Chairman, you understand the process here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you bringing the bill, and I always enjoyed working with you on these issues.
Thank
And
you,
so we're now voting to send House Bill 2383 to summer study. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, committee, and thank you, Chairman.
Chair Lady Hazelwood.
Thank you. Before the chairman leaves, I just want to say thank you for this bill. My husband is a motorcycle rider. He doesn't ride on the interstates much, but that is a real problem when the traffic is stopped. The motorcycle just heats up, and it really is a safety issue for not only those riding the motorcycles, but those in the cars beside them. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair
and
Lady.
I look forward to the discussion, and maybe we can come up with a compromise and fix that problem.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford. Folks, we're going to go pull some more folks off the hill here. And on item number 4, Chair Lady Littleton, you are recognized. We have a motion and a second on House Bill 1228. And members, I show an amendment. What amendment do you show?
14451.
14451. Do we have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. Members, all in favor of putting drafting code 014451 on House Bill 1228, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bill. Chair Lady, would you explain your amendment and the bill, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill, as amended, reconstitutes the membership of the South Central Tennessee Railroad Authority. They met in February, had an executive meeting, and they agree with everything that's changing in this amendment.
Thank you, Chair Lady. And I spoke to representatives of the railroad industry, and they fully support this legislation. Members, any discussion? Question has been called. Members, we are now voting on House Bill 1228 to send to full transportation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Chair Lady, bill moves on to full
Thank you,
transportation.
Mr. Chairman and committee.
Okay.
It's nice to be in a better setting here than some of the committees, so thank you.
Okay. Members, I don't see, is he back there? Oh, there you are. You're hiding over there. Okay, that's not a spot to be seen. Members, we're now on item number 5, Representative Martin of Hamilton County. Sir, you are recognized on House Bill 2621. You have a motion and a second, and I show you have a amendment. What amendment do you show, sir?
That is 012984.
Sir, I have 014229.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I am believing that you are correct.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you. All members, do we have a motion and a second on amendment 014229? We have a motion and a second to put that on House Bill 2621. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bill. Representative Martin, you are recognized, sir, on the bill.
This bill comes about because of an audit that I was a part of on the Government Operations Committee. In an audit, we discovered that the railroad has a system where they can be fined somewhere between $10 and $100. And that's been a law for a number of years that has, quite frankly, no one can ever find a place where it was ever been implemented in the sense of that. So what this language seeks to do is to do away with that part of the code for 2 reasons, really. We've never issued a fine. And second of all, the relationship between the railroads and TDOT has been a really good working relationship where they've been able to solve the problems that are there. $10 fine certainly seems irrelevant in today's economy.
Members, we heard the explanation. Any discussion? Chairman Howe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the bill. In addition to the reasons you stated, I think it's clear that only the federal government has oversight of the railroads. So this fine is null and void. So thank you for the bill.
Okay. Anybody else? Members, we are now voting on House Bill 2621 to send to full transportation. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you, Chairman and committee.
Members, I'm going to take someone out of sequence here, and that's Vice Chairman Jernigan on item number 9. House Bill 465. Chairman Jernigan, you are recognized, sir. And before we do that, Vice Chairman Jernigan, I have to say, House members, item number 7, House Bill 2849 has been taken off notice. And thank you, Representative Barrett.
Thank you.
Chairman Jernigan, you are recognized on House Bill 465. Do I have a motion and a second?
Yep.
We have a motion and a second. And sir, I show you have an amendment with drafting code 014528.
That would 1545. Yep, that'd be correct, sir.
Okay, members, let's put that, get the bill in the proper format. We have a motion and a second to put drafting code 014528 on House Bill 465. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bills. Sir, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I really appreciate that. Members, this bill's amended requires the Department of Revenue to annually cross-reference with the Department of Health, Office of Vital Records, to verify the owner of each disabled parking placard is not deceased. If they are found to be deceased, then it will automatically invalidate the placard beginning July 1st, 2025. Our goal here is to keep these disabled placards being used and passed down as heirlooms. So with that explanation, I'd like to stand for any questions.
Any questions from the members? Seeing none. Members, we're now voting on House Bill 465 to send to full transportation. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Mr. Chairman, it goes to full
It
transportation.
was an honor being in front of your committee, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Representative, Chairman Russell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I'm out of order, but I got some guests here from the district. Our airport manager, Tom McCosh, and Clyde and Lynn Mullins. Clyde keeps the airplane propeller turning. He's a mechanic. And Sydney Hamilton. Let's make them feel welcome.
Thank you. Next up, members, we have item number 8 by Representative Barrett of Dixon County. Sir, you are recognized on House Bill 2034. I have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. And Representative Barrett, I have an amendment with the drafting code of 014078. Is that what you show?
I concur, sir.
Okay, thank you. Members have a motion and a second on the amendment. We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Members, all in favor of putting the drafting amendment with drafting code 014078 on House Bill 2034, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bill. Sir, you are recognized and explain your amendment and the bill, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I get too far into it, I just want to say that I'm pleased that I was able to present a bill before you get out of here.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I'll be around for one more week here, I hope. So
That's about it, right?
yes, sir.
Well, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you and Chairman Howell working with me on this bill as well as safety to get this to the point where we are with this amendment. And members of the committee, what we're doing here, the state issues temporary driver's licenses to people that are here on temporary status through the federal government. And so right now the statute says that those driver's licenses can be issued up to a period of 8 years. And this will reduce that time period down to 2 years so that we eliminate some of the issues that we're having with people overstaying their visas or situations where the visas have been revoked and we don't know about it. So they have to come back in on a more regular time period in order to re-up. We can make sure that we know where they are, if they've moved, things of that nature. So that's the bill, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Barrett, I really do appreciate you working on this. I think we have a really good bill here, and I fully support it. Members, any comments? Representative Pearson, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you so much, Chairman and sponsor. Appreciate some of these changes that have been made with this amendment for sure, and the departments for reaching out about it. How long can someone be authorized to have a visa? I know that's a federal process, but is the maximum amount of time for 2 years?
Sponsor?
So there's multiple different pathways or avenues to the federal government for people to be here on temporary status. It's not just visa, and they have different time periods. So it can be up to as much as 8 years currently. What we have a situation of, though, is where the federal government will revoke those visas, or they're expired for some reason or another. And we don't know about that because there's no notice sent back to the state or Department of Safety. So on its face, the driver's license still appears to be valid if it's presented anywhere in commerce or anywhere in the state. So this would make them have to come back and re-up that on a more regular basis.
Representative Harris? Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Pearson, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I definitely understand the problem that you're seeking to address. Again, appreciate the changes that have been made, but I don't know if for people who are here, who might have the opportunity to be here for 8 years, telling them they have to now go back 4 times to the DMV, which isn't the quickest place for people to get things done or business done, is the right solution to this. Although I think the idea that you're mentioning of getting notification from the federal government of when someone's visa has expired, and maybe one of our departments taking that information would be a different type of idea. And so for that reason, I have some other questions that I'll probably ask you before we get to when we get to full committee. But today we'll be all right with this going forward. Thank you, Chairman.
Sponsor?
And Representative, I'd be happy to work with you on it. If you have suggestions or want to get together, work on an amendment or something to make it better, happy to do that.
And also, I'd like to add, we worked with the Department of Safety on this, and we came up with the 2-year because they have really reduced the waiting time at these centers where you do get your driver's license. And so there was some thought put into this 2-year period. And again, sponsor, I appreciate that. Next on my list, Representative Glenn, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a problem with this bill. So in Montgomery County, we have a lot of industry that's coming. LG Chem, Korean nationals are coming and building plants and providing job opportunities for many of folks in Montgomery County. And they're coming over on a visa. They bring them over, they start up these plants. So we're asking them to go in every 2 years and renew their driver license. Is that what we're asking them to do?
Sponsor?
Yes, Representative Glenn, if you're here on a temporary basis, you would have to come in every 2 years to renew that driver's license.
Representative Glenn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's where I have a problem, because these folks are coming in providing $25, $30 an hour jobs. And for us to treat them, and to me, in a sense to say, I don't trust you to do the right thing, I have a serious problem with this bill. So I can't vote for this one. So, but thank you anyway.
Sponsor?
I respect your comments, understand your concerns. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, members, we're now voting on House Bill 2034 to send to full transportation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. If you want to be House Bill 2034 passes and moves on to full transportation. If you want to be recorded as no, please see the clerk.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sponsor, and thank you again for working with us on this bill.
Yes, sir.
Next, I have item number 10 from our friend in Davidson County, Representative Powell. You are recognized on House Bill 2070. I have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment.
Oh, yes, let's get a motion. I got a motion and a second. Okay. Okay, and then now we have an amendment, and I show drafting code 014337. Do I have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second to put the amendment on the bill. All in favor of putting an amendment with drafting code 014337 on House Bill 2070, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bill. Sir, you're recognized on the amendment and the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, I came before this committee earlier in the year and talked about some of the different need for looking more closely at passenger rail, and also in conjunction freight rail and other public transit options. So want to thank you, Chairman, also Chairman Howell, and also I know Representative Vital and I were invited to the office at TDOT. We sat down and met and learned more about some of the plans they have in place. So I've talked to them further about this. And they have a lot of things that are ongoing. Unfortunately, some of these reports are going to be back after we're out of session. So all we want to do is have them give us a report about the different things they're doing to both the committee, this committee, the House, and the Senate, so that we can stay up to date on different actions that are taking place around passenger and freight rail.
Okay, thank you, sponsor. And again, I enjoyed working with you on this legislation also, and I appreciate your passion that over the years to bring rail back to Middle Tennessee passenger rail. I show Representative Harris, you have questions? You recognize.
Thank you, Chair. And to the sponsor, I know you have a strong passion for rail line. And I hope that, I guess my question will be, will you stay in office until we get rail line back?
Sponsor?
I'd have to ask my wife. So she'd be the one to bring up here and ask that question.
Okay, Representative Harris? Okay. Next up, I have Chairman Vital. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sponsor, I just want to say how much I appreciate you working with all of us and especially the city of Chattanooga. This is an important issue not only to Tennesseans, but across the state on identifying the ID corridors going forward, but at the same time working to try to make sure we don't have duplication within the Department of Transportation. And how do we coordinate this mode of transportation with other things that are going on in Tennessee over the next few years to help people go from one part of the state to the next? So thank you for not trying to duplicate services and also use the services we've got within TDOT. Thanks.
Sponsor?
I just want to give a shout out to you and also City of Chattanooga for leading, the efforts here and making sure we're all staying on the same page. Because some of the different money they've been able to tap into on the federal level to study this further clearly is going to need to take state cooperation as well. So I appreciate Chattanooga's lead on that issue.
I'll relay that to the city of Chattanooga. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We may be connected to Memphis once and for all. So
Thank you, Chairman Vital. Next up, I show Chairman Howe. Sir, you're recognized.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to also thank the representative for working with us. That was a good meeting we had at TDOT. And of course, as chairman, I've known that there is a rail division in TDOT. That's why we had this discussion to begin with. But I was quite surprised to see how much work had already been done by TDOT, and it's ongoing, and there are studies and gathering of data even now as we sit here. So I appreciate your passion for this, and I believe there's a path to get there. Hopefully, we know it's going to cost money, but I fully support what you're trying to do. Thank you.
Sponsor?
Thank you. I appreciate that, Chairman. And I'd be remiss if I didn't throw in a couple rail puns.
Okay.
So I'm happy that we're all on board and hopefully we can leave on time.
Okay. Well, you continue to work on the railroad there. Members, we're now voting on House Bill 270. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 2070 moves on to full transportation. Members, that complete our calendar. Any further business? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Members, we are adjourned. The railroad.